It's another good morning, but it's rainy. Stay dry. Don't get wet. Let's get started. Let's start from the top of page 6, I guess. Okay. Monday we discussed how the demand curve for individual as well as the market is defined. Now we are going to discuss how supply curve is defined, law of supply. So please look at the first panel of the green board. So we start from who makes the supply? Households or firms? Firms, right? So for demand curve, we started from marginal utility curve. So, but now you are in the other position, which is the firm's position. We have to start with MPC. MPC is for marginal production cost. Marginal utility is a particular type of marginal benefit, while MPC is a particular type of marginal cost. Because you and I are rational people, aren't we? Henji, are we rational? Excluding me, you are rational. I'm irrational. Okay, anyway, so you are all rational, right? On the basis of that, we make our discussions. So, because of firms are, let's do without this because it's once again it's on and off. It's very inconvenient. We better be consistent, right? We love consistency. On and off is better than a real low tone. Okay, so anyway, back there you can hear me. DJ, you can hear me from back there. Still, shall I have the microphone? Okay, if you say so, I have to have the microphone. Actually, I hate microphone. Okay, so anyway, this is whatever firm, Sangyeon and Company, TJ and Company, whatever, Jisina and Company, or KH and Company, whatever company is a firm. Company is or Jiyeon and Company, you name it. So Sangyeon typically, Sangyeon and Company is the typical firm. So he has this type of marginal production cost. What that means is that as you increase quantity of production, previously as for demanders, quantity of consumption. This is quantity of production quantity. As we increase this direction, we'll come to that. Why this is upward sloping, but simply we assumed at the very beginning we have to play with the law of diminishing marginal benefit and the law of increasing marginal cost. That's very overarching, very much overarching assumptions, two of them. The law of increasing marginal cost while the law of decreasing marginal or diminishing, more often than not we say diminishing marginal benefit. So marginal cost is, as for now, why that is, we'll come to that shortly, but as for now, we simply assume, let's discuss this, why this is to be. First of all in general, whatever that is, marginal cost tends to increase. typically increase. Not all marginal cost increases, but as I keep saying, the law means typically, in general, marginal cost tends to increase. So, production side, we have the cost is marginal production cost. Because this is a particular type of marginal cost, marginal production cost is tended to increase. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Let's briefly talk about it, specifically why this marginal cost has to increase. Okay, then think about that. Originally, at the beginning, SHN company hired 100 people. Okay, so later on, you are going to increase the number of people you hire because to expand production, you have to increase. You have to hire number of people, right? So my question is that originally there are a bunch of people available over there. Let's say 1,000 people is available for you to hire. Okay, then of 100 people, or 1,000 people, which particular 100 people would you hire first? More competent people or less competent people? Would you hire KH first or 예린 first? KH first because she is more competent, more productive, right? This is okay. Is that happening with me? You hire more competent people first, right? Then as you expand, okay, your production, you have to hire 예린 in addition to KH. Unfortunately, 예린 is less productive than what that means. So as you increase, anyway, you have to pay the same wage to KH and 예린 because that's a law of one price. Once I mentioned that law of one price, okay, so any place when you are going to hire people, you have to pay the same wage regardless of their productivity. Then from that, as you increase your operation, you have to hire less and less competent people, right? Flip side of that is the other side of the same coin is that production cost increases, right? That's factor number one. In the real world, as you expand your operation, you have to hire less and less productive people. That's one thing. Or in general, less and less productive production factors. Factor number one. Okay. Factor number two is that in this case, normally we assume same capital. Your firm, SHN company, has same quantity of capital. That's in general assumption. In that case, okay, so the number of computers are limited. So originally you have 100 people with 100 laptops. Now you keep adding people. Now you hire 200 people, okay, with same number of 100 laptops. Can you divide one laptop into two? You cannot do that. That's what we call indivisibility. So because most equipments are not divisible, you have congestion over there. Previously, KH monopolized the particular computer, but now, unfortunately, you have to share the same computer with 예린, like it or not, right? That's what we call congestion. You have to take turns using the computer. So that's what we call congestion. Two reasons, normally we name two reasons why this is to be like that, like upward sloping. To sum it up, reason number one, as you, still, do I have it? So sorry, but don't blame me, blame the school. That's not my fault. I'm ready to use the phone, but okay, this on and off microphone does more harm than good. Am I right? 지연, 미연, 지연. Okay. Okay, so we are comfortable with no. So we understood that reason number one, Because as you expand, as you increase our production, marginal cost, because we have to hire less and less productive. Unfortunately, like it or not, that's the reality anyway. That's number one. Number two reason is that normally we assume for the short run, you cannot increase capital capital equipment, right? Because it takes time. But market changes daily. But when you hire people, is relatively easily you increase and decrease number of people. But when it comes to capital investment, you cannot do that very easily. It takes a year or 2 years. Sometimes to build a factory, it takes it may take 5 years. So that's long-term consideration. So in that case, increase in people, more people with the same number of capital, simply capital, physical capital. You say same quantity of, same size of physical capital, we have congestion. So two reasons. This is here. You understood that, right? Why MPC, this particular MC has to increase. The previous case, our case, your favorite case, you at dinner table, at dinner. So sushi is, you keep eating sushi, your concern keeps increasing, right? That's another type. But this, anyway, okay, let's anyway take this for granted. Okay, take this granted. MPC is simply, let's assume MPC as a particular type, MPC, marginal production cost, as a particular type marginal cost is simply, let's assume this to be upward sloping, okay, given this. Then SH and company is simply one of so many firms in the marketplace. So our point is that he doesn't have any control over the market price. Means at the given market price, he can sell at unlimited. From his point of view, his standpoint, he can sell unlimited number of the thing. Okay. Then in that case, so selling, one more time in economics, we assume purchase is the same as your consumption. Okay. Production is the same as his sales. Okay. The only reason why he makes sales is to get benefit from the production, right? What's his benefit from making a thing? What benefit does he get? Money, right? Money we call revenue. From you sell something, okay, you sell something, you create some, we call it revenue. The money he takes in from selling a thing at the marketplace, we call that revenue. Revenue is particular type of benefit. In his case, as a firm, benefit is revenue. So here again, revenue is his benefit, and his cost is production cost, right? Is that clear to you? For a firm, benefit is revenue is the benefit, because the only reason why you operate a firm is to create revenue, right? Is that clear to you? To create revenue, we have to pay production cost, right? Here, revenue, his definition or your definition, okay, this is GN company or TJ and company, GC and company, whatever. Yeah, likewise, latecomer Sungwon and company. Okay, are you sober? Are you awake? Yeah, she is. Okay, fortunately. So Sungwon and company, whatever. Okay, 현재 and company, KH and company. Actually, company is a friend. You know that, right? Company is a real story. Sang-Yen and company. So that's a partnership. Sang-Yen and his friends creates a new business. That's the name Sang-Yen and company. So company has become named the firm. Originally, company means you are companion, right? Company is companion. You are friends. So Sang-Yen and company, okay. So it means partnership or whatever. So this is his benefit. A firm's benefit is defined by revenue, while a firm's cost is defined by production cost. Okay, this is it. So as rational people, we have to be concerned about marginal cost and marginal benefit, right? So let's Let's tackle the marginal benefit first. Okay, so you assume he sells a bottle of water. So a bottle of water sells at 500 won. Okay. So 500 won is the market price. It's given to him. You don't have any control of the market price. And the market price you can sell as much or as many you would like to. Okay. Then if he sells 100 units of this, what is his revenue? 50,000 won, right? Total revenue. Okay. He sells 500 won. Right? He sells 100 units. Okay. Then what is the total revenue? 50,000 won, right? Then if he sells 101 unit, what is total his revenue? 50,501, right? Then what's his marginal revenue at the point 100th unit? 500. Is everybody with me? Okay. Our interest is in finding marginal revenue because marginal revenue, particular type of marginal benefit, right? To make a decision, we have to find out marginal revenue and marginal cost. This is our marginal cost. Okay, this is our definition. We understood that marginal production cost is to be upward sloping or to be increasing. 현지, are you hearing me? Marginal cost always to make a rational decision. The basic principle is that MC is, as long as MC is bigger than, no, MB is bigger than MC, do we do that? Do we take it or do we reject it? You take it, you do it. Meaning, he keeps producing, he keeps producing the thing. So to make this decision, MB is what? ML. What is this? MPC. So you have to compare these two. So we are going to, that's our goal right at this moment. Okay, to make his decision is that how many units to produce. That's his decision, right? The Monday our decision was how many units to purchase. That was our right. How many units to demand. That is our decision point, right? Is that clear? As a buyer, because this is our destination today, as I keep saying, to define market equilibrium, we need two things. What are they? Demand and supply, right? To clap, so with one palm, can you clap? You need two palms to clap, right? One palm, you hit nothing. You cannot make any sound, right? You need, okay, my favorite joke, it's not appropriate, but you are adults now. So it takes two to make a love affair, right? By yourself, can you make a love affair? So I hope this is my silly joke doesn't offend you, does it? You are all adults, right? Okay, anyway. Likewise, to define the market equilibrium, we need two things, supply and demand. Demand alone cannot define the market equilibrium. Supply alone cannot do that. Only after we have two things, okay? Two things, just like to clap, we need two palms, right? Tony? Because of this. So this is our, as far as the supply and demand market equilibrium is concerned, this is our destination. Then to reach the destination step by step. Okay, number one, we discussed demand. How does the demand, is the demand curve defined? We understood that the other day. This morning, we are going to review how supply curve is defined. That's our interim destination, and this is final destination. So we understood that, right? How is the market demand curve defined? We understood that very, very clearly. The case of you showed us two sums. You understood that very clearly. 지연? Samya, right? She was neutral. One sum up. You understood that? Okay. You understood, right? Kate understood two thumbs up. How about you? Because she's less productive. One sum up. Very similar story. Here again, we are going to define markets apply curve. So you are in the process right now. So likewise, it's just like we did the other day, we understand individual. We are going to understand individual firms supply, and then everything else is automatic, right? Okay. Very simple. So now let's return to this case. His case, as always, okay, SH and Company or JW and Company, MG and Company, okay, as a rational firm, okay, a rational firm, decision should be made by thinking at the margin, which specifically means that you have to compare marginal benefit and marginal cost. So as long as marginal benefit outweighs marginal cost, you keep that. Is it clear? Is my message clear to you? Someone, SW, latecomer? Is my message clear to you? She is not awake yet, not fully awake yet. So, because time is limited anyway, okay. Like your time, my time is limited. Our time is limited. We have to go forward. You cannot stay here forever. So at the end of the class, okay, someone, if this is not clear to you, even at the end of today's class, you come to me. So one more time, check. So we checked, right? MPC is to look like this, right? MPC is that you understood. I explained that because of two reasons. MPC is to go up, like this is to go up. You understood. Yeah? Now the only remaining thing is that you have to understand what MR is like. MR is like. MR is benefit. MPC is cost. MPC goes up. MR. So how? What does MR look like? That's our point. Okay. So MR is what is MR? Definition of marginal revenue. The revenue from one additional unit of sales, right? That's marginal revenue, right? So 100 units. What is the 100 first units revenue from this one? The price was 501, right? Someone you follow me from this point on, okay? So you don't need previous story to understand. So the market price is 501. As one of so many firms, SW and Company, this SH and Company, JW and Company, MG and Company, JY and Company, TJ and Company, so many companies in the firm. So he doesn't have a control of the market price. He can sell as many as unit he wishes at the same price, 501. Okay, then, what's his marginal revenue at the 100th unit? 501, right? He has sold 100 units. He's going to sell one more unit. What's the marginal revenue from the additional one unit? 501. What's the marginal revenue at the 1,000th unit? 500. Same story, right? Is that clear? So marginal revenue is the market price. Just likewise, individual consumers, you can purchase. Okay, what is your marginal cost of buying this? Market price. So, okay, what is your name? Okay, Yungyang. Okay, so Yungyang YG. Okay, YG. K is wrong. You believe me? K is wrong. So that's wrong. So wrong spelling. Don't. Why G is wrong? Why you have to? No, K is wrong. Meaning MK is wrong. Somehow, Korean government misdirect people in writing English names. I have a blog item in there. How to write your name in the right way. I refer it to my blog item. 올바른 내 이름의 영문 표기. I'm real story. So your name should be CW, not JW. JW is wrong. I'm very serious in this. Somehow, the Korean government mislead people. The wrong thing. Think about that. This is, of course, this is a digression, but a critical point for Korean students is that, think about that. You write your name in English. Who is that for? For Koreans or for internationals? International citizens, right? Is that clear to you? The Korean government, okay, insists that we have to write English name. We have to anglicize. We say anglicize, turn into English. Okay, Korean people have to anglicize their name in Korean way, not the international way. Do you agree with the Korean government's logic? That's absurd, actually. The only reason, who's the audience of writing your name in English? International citizen, not Korean way. So the thing is that you have to write, you have to write your name in English in the international way, not Korean way. But somehow Korean government insists, okay, and persists that to be in English. That's really, to my eyes, an absurd thing. So everybody, all name is wrong. You have to write your name YG, not YK. YK is absurd thing, actually. That's very, very wrong. Right. JW is wrong too. CW, you have to write CW. Anyway, I don't have time to spend here. So now this is clear, right? Previously, YG, when she was going to buy, marginal cost is always the market price, right? Marginal cost, however many units YG buys, the price is only, additional cost only is 501, right? So market price is marginal cost to individual demander, okay? While the market price is the marginal revenue for individual supplier. Is that clear? So if from your Sangyeon, this is your issue. If market price is P1, how many would you produce? Q1. How do you know that? Q1. If market price is P2, how much would you produce? It's Q2. How about PC? P3. Is this clear to everyone? Here, the thing is, our conclusion is that his marginal cost, or your marginal cost curve is, marginal production cost is nothing other than your supply plan. That's supply, that's definition of supply plan, right? Market price is this, I'm going to sell this much. Market price, this, I'm going to sell this much. Price is this much. So MPC is nothing other than his sale plan, so to speak, as it were, right? Is this clear to everyone? This is nothing other than the sale plan of SH and company. Okay? YG, is that clear to you? Now everything is done. Okay, we are almost there. So this is individual firms. Okay, sale plan. We don't call supply in the economics. We don't call sale plan, but what do we call that? Supply schedule. Same story. Okay. Likewise, just like we did. Your individual purchase plan, we don't call economics. Okay, we don't call according to, so say purchase plan is what we call ordinary term. the difference. Economic jargon, you say economic jargon or professional jargon. Okay. Economists they have unique terms. Their unique term for this for purchase plan is demand schedule. So economics jargon. Okay, the professional term in economics for sale plan is what? Supply schedule. So is using economics jargon. This is supply schedule. Is that clear to everyone? Limbo. Okay, it's clear to you. Okay. Hello, you understand? Are you with me? Okay. Then, so HW and the firms supply schedule looks like this too, right? Okay. So every firm's supply curve looks like this, right? So you simply to find market demand supply curve Y1, no P1. You simply sum them up. Each and every firm's supply schedule, and then this is market this much. Okay? Likewise, look like. So the shape is exactly the same. Only difference this time again is scale. So he sells. SN company sells this unit. Scale is that this is 100 unit, 200, 300. The only difference is market right. This is 1 million. Okay, 100 million unit. If there are million firms, okay? So there are 10,000, only 10,000 firms. This is 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Do you know what I mean right here? Only the difference is matter of scale. Individually, you sell in hundreds of units, hundreds, so 100 barrels, 200 barrels, 300 barrels. But market-wise, million barrels, 100 million barrels, 200 million barrels. It's the only difference. The shape is look like this, right? Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Then from this, we understand that supply curve should be upward sloping. That's nothing other than law of supply. Law of supply means the market supply curve is upward sloping vis-a-vis the price. So as market price goes up, quantity of supply increases. That's it. Okay. Now here we have created two palms to clap. Okay. So KH has made a boy to make a date. Is that a real story? Okay, this is here. This is what you call, what is this? Demand schedule or demand curve. Economists call this demand schedule or demand curve of the market as a whole supply. So we can make a conclusion here then. What is this? Okay, equilibrium price. What is the equilibrium price? P0. P0. What is the quantity 현지? How is it? Okay. Is that clear? So now so you can clap, you can applaud. This one. So this is what you call market equilibrium. Market equilibrium. Equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity. Okay. By the way, equilibrium actually. Alfred Marshall, late 19th century, contributed to the development of economics a lot. Then his first major was physics. Partly because of that, I'm not sure. But anyway, many terms we borrow many terms from physics. In economics, many terms are from physics. Okay. So typically, equilibrium is one of them. Physics, you learn physics, the system is in equilibrium. Okay. So anyway, that's for your reference. So that means that, okay, thinking in physics is very close to thinking in economics. They are not that different. Personally, my first major, college major was physics, and second major was economics. I found many commonality in physics and economics. Okay. So this is equilibrium. Here you see is the quantity demand is the same as quantity supply. Okay, triple bar, 3 bars mean should be. We call identity. Sometimes you call accounting identity. This you call. Why that is? In economics, almost always we are interested in finding. First of all, our discussion is all about exchange, okay, not autarky. Okay, trade market, as I explained the other day, all about market trade. Our focus is on market trade, number one. Number two, our interest is in equilibrium, so market clearance. So then two of them should be equal in the market, as long as market is cleared. Why that is? Individual trade, SH and company, a firm, this firm sells a thing, supply, right? Okay. He buys this one as a min key. He buys this at 501, right? Can the price be different between two of them? His sale price is buying. Can the price be different? No. It cannot be. What is bought is what is sold. Same story. So market equilibrium, the total quantity demanded should be the same as quantity sold, right? Can they be different? No, they cannot be different. Because of this, you follow me. We are interested in international market trade. Not autarky, we exclude autarky. Okay? Individual trade, what is sold the same as what is bought. Our interest in equilibrium. Equilibrium means by the action of price, market is cleared. Quantity sold is the same as quantity bought. Then they have two of them should be equal in monetary terms or quantity, whatever term. So this is actually the same thing as accounting, double entry bookkeeping principle. Some of you may have some idea about this, but some others may not have any idea. But one of my very, very strong suggestions is you take a basic accounting course before graduation. Jian, you do that. If you don't take it, I'm not going to graduate you. My very strong recommendation is that you take an accounting course before graduation, because accounting, double entry bookkeeping accounting is a common language among business people and economists. By that what I practically mean is that if you don't understand, you don't have any idea of accounting basic principle is enough. Okay? 회계원리 in the Korean language is enough, not advanced courses. 회계원리 is enough to understand very simple principle is enough. So if you don't understand, don't have any knowledge about, you cannot read accounting. Okay, you have difficulty communicating with business people or economists, because one more time, accounting is a language, common language among business people and economists. Because of that, it will help you a lot. So from time to time, I use this T table. This is a T table. Accounting principle, double entry bookkeeping principle is you enter same amount once left hand side, the other right hand side. You keep doing that. That's basic nature of double entry bookkeeping. Then you keep doing that. This is quantity supply. This is demand. Okay. You keep doing that individually. The total sum should be left-hand side should be equal left-hand side, right? So, by the way, this we call left-hand side. We call this is debit. 자변, Korean language. 대변, debit. Right-hand side we call credit. Okay, this is thing as of now. This is just reference for you. Okay, you don't need to learn about this as far as this course is concerned, but you better know, have some idea of accounting. And because of this is you keep doing that 100, 100, 200. Once left-hand side, this is supply, this is sources, uses. You enter sources item right-hand side and uses item left-hand side. And then this is source, supply is sources, right? Demand is uses. Sources, uses, you keep doing that. Then total sum should be equal. So here total market-wise, this is QD, should be equal. Okay, 3 bars mean should be. Should be. This is called identity. All this relation should hold no matter when, no matter where. You call sometimes you call accounting identity. Accounting identity. Okay, keep this in mind. Okay, then we have only 6 minutes in the first hour today. So, okay, this is law and the law of demand and supply. Demand, schedule, and demand schedule and supply schedule interact. Between two of them, define the market equilibrium. Then at the market equilibrium, intersection point is the market equilibrium. Here, demand, supply. Here, quantity demanded is the same as quantities supplied. This is market equilibrium. Market is cleared, no leftover. So here, sometimes we say in this way, ex ante, before the event. Before the event, are the demand schedule and supply schedule the same? They are different, right? We call ex ante. You hear these terms time and again before graduation anyway. If this term is not mentioned in the textbook, sometime in the future you will hear this term. So ex ante and ex post. These terms are of course from Latin입니다. 원래. Okay. So this is ex ante is beforehand. Okay, in advance. So this is after the event, after the fact. Ex post. Post is the after, right? Ex post, ex ante. In advance, beforehand. Okay, so this later on, behind, after the fact. So you say in this way, even if ex ante demand schedule is different, very different from ex ante supply schedule, right? Two of them are different. This is demand schedule, this is supply schedule. Two of them are different, totally different. But ex post, 사후적으로, ex post at the end of the day, quantity supplied should be equal. I say should be. Should be is accounting identity. Should be equal to quantity supplied. This is it. So even if ex ante schedule are different, this is demand totally different. The demand schedule, supply schedule. So at the end of the day, by the action of price, by the adjustment, the price adjustment, then quantity sold should be equal to quantity supplied. Okay. One additional factor, this is equilibrium. Equilibrium is stable. Stable means sometimes it happens, right? There are accidents. Okay. Somehow the market is out of equilibrium, then there are two cases, right? Market tends to return to the equilibrium or go even further from two cases. Okay. Then the thing is that the magical point of the market equilibrium is stable. What that means is that somehow market price is here. P0 quantity sold at the price P0 equilibrium price, quantity sold is the same as quantity bought, right? No leftover. Everybody is satisfied. Everybody can comfortably goes back home, can go back home, right? No complaint, no nothing. What if somehow P is P1 higher than equilibrium price? Which is bigger? Supply is bigger. Price is that you understood what? As a demander, YG wanted to buy only this. As a supplier, SHN company wants to sell this much. Yeah? Which is bigger? Supply we call excess supply or simply surplus. Yeah? In the past, you usually call it excess supply, but somehow he calls it surplus. Yeah? Supply is the same as excess demand. supply, 초과 공급, Korean language. 초과 공급. Then tomorrow this will rot. So it's useless tomorrow. He has to sell this today. What would he do? Bid the price down or bid up? Down. But as the price he bids down, now additionally KH is going to buy. It stands in line to buy that in addition to YG, right? Is that clear? So as price falls down, demand decreases while, remember, demand decreases. So bids down, right? Suppliers bid the price down. Okay. Then as then demand increases. As price goes down, demand increases. Supply is discouraged, right? Eventually, this will be everybody will be happy. The other case is the P2. P2 is that somehow, by accident, somehow the price is set below the equilibrium price. The other way, we have excess demand, 초과 수요, or deficit. We have deficit, surplus and deficit. So then the market forces the price to the equilibrium point right here. Okay, finally, in the first hour today, so far we discussed, okay, the endogenous variables only, two endogenous variables, quantity and price, two things. Now we are going to check the effect of an exogenous variable, a change in exogenous variable. One of the simplest, this is demand, okay. So, what if everyone's stock market booms? Everyone's wealth increases, right? As your wealth increases, would you buy more or less? More. Okay. So he's irrational. Okay. So, or everybody income somehow everybody income doubles, increases, right? Or ice cream, if this is ice cream, somehow irregular hot summer you come across it very, very hot because of global warming. So we have this summer is particularly hot. The hot weather, ice cream demand increases, decreases. The fact is that the hot weather affects what? Demand or supply? Demand. So that's Mankyu's suggestion is that so exogenous variable, you find out which curve is affected. So you all understand, right? Hot weather affects demand curve. Okay. So which direction? Second point, which direction? Demand curve moves. Same price, you will buy more or less? More. Okay. This curve will shift this direction, this way. Okay. Outward shift. You have an outward shift in demand. Then finally, market price, new equilibrium is higher or lower? Higher. Okay. As demand increases, so a change in demand. An increase in demand means demand curve itself shifts to that direction. Okay. That's what the way of how we say that. A change in demand, or increase or decrease in demand means curve itself shifts, right hand or left hand side, here and there. That's one thing. Then there are many other cases. Okay. The other example is that what if the OPEC increases crude oil price. As you understand, crude oil is the raw material for lots of items. This is as crude oil price goes up, typically the price of this barrel goes up, plastic goes up. So an abrupt increase in crude oil price, which does it affect? Supply curve, right? Which direction? In this case, we say upward. Actually, upward. The effect is the same. Supply curve, this moves upward. Okay? Upward is left-hand side, pretty much same story. But it's useful. Differentiating that is somewhat useful. Okay? Right-hand side, left-hand side, upward or downward. Effectively, pretty much the same story, but logically, that's useful. Demand curve is shifted upward rather than left-hand side. Well, you may call that left-hand side, but it's useful. It's better to explain the story. Upward is used. It's more convenient anyway. The same story. Upward, price goes up, goes down. Goes up. Okay. So that's the full story in the first hour today. So as usual, let's quickly go over our class note to check if we have missed anything. I refer you to bottom of page. No, first of all, we started page 6, right? So now, once again, take a look at the bottom line of page 6. Demand and supply are flow variables. Okay. The following page 7. Near the top, I mentioned accounting identity, Korean language, 회계적 항등식. The market quantity sold, this is a source. Quantity bought, this is bought, is use. Then near the bottom, item 2, law of demand is the exposed. Yes. As a result, so exposed as a result, demand, so exposed demand, okay, should be the same as exposed supply. So I say I have 3 bars, right? That should be identity. Okay, then the following page 8. Near the bottom, item number 5, Mankiw says that the market price is the pattern of the invisible hand. Invisible hand. I'm sorry, invisible hand. But that's a sign signing tool, the pattern. So invisible hand is the best resource allocator of all invisible hand, not the government or government officials. Then once again, I refer you to the Adam Smith's most favorite quotes, or most favorite quote from Adam Smith is that it's not the benevolence but their self-interest that you can enjoy. Benevolence of brewers and bakers and butchers, that you can enjoy dinner together with your mom. Okay, let's take a break until 5 minutes after 10 by that o'clock. Next subject. This hour's subject is elasticity. In the Korean language, we call it 탄력성. Elasticity, 탄력성. What? Elasticity actually means sensitivity or responsiveness. A change in a variable in response to another variable. A change in another variable. That's elasticity or sensitivity or responsiveness is all about. Okay. So for a start, okay, let me ask a question to you. So, by the way, so elasticity can be defined for any 2 variables. first we are going to discuss the elasticity of demand vis-a-vis price. So price elasticity of demand. And secondly, we are going to discuss this one. Price elasticity of supply, price elasticity of. Then any elasticity you can define possible. For example, income elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand. Okay, change in demand in response to change in income. Okay, that's income elasticity. So we'll come to here, application. Now let's start with this question. So now we focus on price elasticity of demand. Yeah, forget about supply condition. So you are focused, you are interested in how much revenue you can create. Okay, how many to sell. That's your decision right now. The case number one is that as you are now in a monopolist position. You have control over. You can increase or decrease your price, market price. So effectively, you are the monopolist in a market, in your market. So you have control over the market price. Then you have to face market demand curve. So what that means is that you can sell only as much as the market, all the demanders would like to buy, right? Because we are always, our assumption is a voluntary exchange. You cannot force anyone to buy. So because of this, your sales is defined by demand curve, right? If you set this price, you can sell only this many, right? If you sell, demand curve is given to you. You as the monopolist. One more time. If you set market price here, how many can you sell? Only this many, right? P1, Q1, P2, P3, Q3, right? Is it clear? So this is given to you. So this is actually a monopolist face demand curve of the monopolist has to face. No control over that. Okay, you are in this position. So getting back to here, question number one. When you reduce on a demand curve looking like this, when you reduce price, can you sell more or less? You are more, right? Then the situation is that if you reduce price by 5%, you can sell 3% more. What would you do? Would you reduce price? You wouldn't. The same. Would you reduce price? You wouldn't, right? You may stay the same place. What if the third case? As you reduce, one more time, you are interested in total revenue only because forget about the cost situation altogether. Sometimes you are in this situation. For example, okay, you harvest rice this year. You cannot carry it over the following year because it's outdated. You cannot sell it anymore. So because of this obsolescence, we call. So you have to sell whatever you harvest this year. In this situation, all costs are sunk. We'll come back to the concept of sunk cost sometime in the future. So all costs are sunk. Okay. Then the only thing is that total revenue is your interest. Will be your interest. You are in this type of situation. Anyway, everyone agreed. Okay, there. If a situation is like this, you wouldn't decrease price. You wouldn't reduce price. You will stay the same. In this case, you will what? Reduce price. Is that clear? So to check that out, to more precisely check that out, we have to use the concept of elasticity. Okay, this is the concept of elasticity. To know that, let's start off. This is price, quantity, right? Oh, I'm sorry, this is wrong. This is Okay. This is price quantity. Price goes from $125 and $130. What is the change in price? Delta is change. I mentioned this before, right? What is T? Delta P is how much? 5. Okay. P over delta P. How much is this? One or 125. This is 5, right? How much is this? Right? What do you call this? 4%, right? Yeah. Is there anyone who objects to calling this 4%? This is 4%, right? So we call it, this is change. This is percentage change. Is that clear? So we very often we use this percentage change. This is means percentage change. This is P over delta P. So what do we call this? Percentage change in quantity. Percentage change in price. We call it in that way. That's naming. Okay. Then you understood that. Yeah, name. So here the case is that as percentage change in P is 0.04. Okay, 0.04. Then we have to check three cases. 1, 2, 3. Okay. In this case 1 is this one. Case 2, case 3. So our interested in whether to reduce our price or not, to increase sales quantity. So we have reduced the price by 4%. Our finding in the marketplace is that if originally we sold 250 units, now afterwards, later, 255 units. So what's the percent change here? Here. 0.02, right? You can calculate that. 0.02. So 0. Percentage change in Q. 1 Q, percentage in Q is 0.02. So my question is that would you reduce price? No, you wouldn't. As long as, okay, of course you can reduce the price if you would like to be irrational. Which is 현지? No. Okay. You wouldn't reduce price, right? Here, 0.04. You are neutral. 5, case 3, 0.08. What do you do? Okay, you will reduce price. Is that clear? So how do we know that the conclusion is that right here? Right? Conclusion is that this we call epsilon, Greek letter, alpha, beta, delta, no, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. This is E, English E, epsilon, we call epsilon. Okay. We need negative sign because direction is different, right? Price goes up, quantity increases. So this is delta P. What is this? Percentage change in price. Well, percentage change in quantity. Okay, is everyone comfortable with this? Jian, you're comfortable with this, right? TJ, you're comfortable. Okay. one thumb up. This not two thumbs. Okay. This is what we call price elasticity of demand. Okay. 수요의 가격 탄력성 in the Korean language. Okay. 가격 탄력성. So from this, what we understand was if this is bigger than 1, remember this is bigger than 1, right? So if is bigger than 1, what do we do? Do we reduce price or increase price? Reduce price. Okay. If second case 1, what do we do? We sustain the present situation. No change in price because neutral. We are neutral. So if everything is neutral, would you change your price? You wouldn't, because not to confuse your consumers. Okay, in this case, okay, you do nothing. In this case, you here price reduction, do nothing. Okay, then you can automatically, if this is smaller than 1, what would you do? Price increase. Okay, price hike. Okay, that's the thing. You check that out. Price, same story, right? The thing is that in this case, remember, you increase price by 5%, quantity decrease only 3%. What would you do? As you have a 5% price hike, quantity decrease only 3%. Would you increase, decrease? Sungwon, would you increase or decrease price? 5% price increase, quantity decrease only 3%. What do you do? Price increase, decrease, stay the same. Price increase, okay. Is it clear to everyone? Okay. One more time, summation. More clear summation. Your price policy number 1, if E is bigger than 1, what? Price increase, hike, reduction. Hike. Reduction, I'm sorry. Price will decrease. Remember, E has originally we have negative sign there. Okay. Then second, if stay the status quo, so to speak. Okay, the current situation. You keep the current situation. Doing nothing. You're doing nothing. If E is smaller than 1, price increase. Price increase. Okay.
I don't understand why we write down the minus.
To make this number positive number. Okay, why we attach negative number one more time? You attach your definition, attach it. It's up to you actually. You may or may not attach minus sign, but at least you have to know that. Be careful treating that. Because in case we'll come back to here, supply schedule. So we call normally this is, what do we call this? This Greek letter. We call eta. This is equivalent to eta. H. This is equivalent to English H eta. You call this eta. So price elasticity of supply is price goes up, your demand, supply goes up or goes down. That's move in the same direction, right? So that's a good question. Eta is we define in this way: P delta P Q. Of course, this is QS delta QS. This is same direction. Okay. So price elasticity of supply, you don't need minus sign here because two of them move same direction. Here you need minus sign. We attach it in general. Some economists don't attach minus sign. Then in that case, epsilon is a negative number. But if you don't attach minus sign here, epsilon becomes a positive number. Just for convenience sake, we do that. Is that clear to you? So anyway, we'll come to this shortly, and let's stay here. Anyway, let's finish the story here. Is this clear to anyone? Everyone? Okay. I will come to here one more time anyway. So before moving forward, let's take a look at this one. How, okay, does the elasticity of price elasticity of demand may change? I refer you to Figure 1, the newest edition, page 93. You have all the edition here. Let's take a look at the case, panel A right here. This is panel A. Panel A, price goes up. As price goes up, does quantity change? Okay, no quantity, no change, right? This is zero elasticity. So zero elasticity, quantity doesn't change. No matter what the price is, the sales quantity is the same thing, constant. Okay. In this case, your price policy is what? Would you increase price, decrease price? Increase. Absolutely, you will increase price. Increase price. So the higher the better. Okay. The higher the better, because price goes up, quantity remains the same. Your point is that your goal is what? Your revenue here. Revenue, this is your revenue, right? You sell quantity Q on this curve. If price is here, price is here, price is here, P1, someone, how much can you sell? P1, price is P1. Q1. This is revenue, right? If price is here, what is the P2? What is the quantity? Someone. Q2. Right? And then this is your revenue, right? This is related to increase, to maximize revenue. That's your concern right now. Okay. And then the panel E. Panel E. Okay. If you reduce price, what can you sell there? If you reduce price, you can monopolize the market. Okay. In this case, you can try to reduce price. Okay. You reduce slightly price, everything is yours, but you can monopolize the market. Okay. That's called infinite elasticity. This is elasticity. It's actually zero. It's very small. You can say, okay, monopolize the market. Okay, and then panel C. Panel C is the very interesting case where elasticity is constant, same thing, constant. What that means is that, remember, this is, what do we call this curve? In the Korean language, 쌍곡선. It's probably we call hyperbola. In English, hyperbola. So this is P, this is Q. Okay, Q. Here, P multiplied Q, we call K. Right? Is everyone with me? What is this? PQ is your revenue, right? Your revenue is simply constant. So the interest case is this one, the middle case. Case number C is hyperbola. Hyperbola case, very unique case. In the real world, you don't have any situation like this. That's just for your mental game only. Mental, we call what you call mental game only. This is okay. Then the further review, further discussion is there. This is very interesting actually. One of my favorite schemes is this one. Most textbooks you assume demand curve something like that. Okay. Okay. For example, this is P equal minus AQ plus B. What is this? Yeah. Both A and B are positive number. What is this? B. Remember, Q is P. Am I right? What is this point? B over A?
Minus
0. Okay. I think so. Am I right? Okay, this is the point here. This is, to be precise, this is G, okay, 0 B, right? 0 B. P is, Q is 0. This is, here is BA 0. Q, right, Q is 0. No, P is 0 here. Okay? TJ, are you comfortable with this? This point, this is the most typical demand curve in economic textbook. In this one, okay. Okay. 0 B, P is 0, quantity Q. Quantity is B. This is B of A, price is 0. The situation. So we are going to calculate this one. So let's take this as our convention, attach minus sign. As far as our discussions are concerned, let's define epsilon with a minus sign. Minus sign is to turn this positive number. No trick, no nothing. So it is P delta P Q delta Q. Okay, this is our definition. Here, this point, which is 0. This is our definition. Here, what is 0? Here, Q is 0, right? Q is 0. What does it mean? This is, Q is 0, right? Q is 0. Q is 0. This is what? What do we have? Epsilon is infinity. Epsilon is infinity. Is it clear to everyone? This infinity, we approach 0. Here the denominator is 0, right? Delta P is small change. Delta P is not 0 in general. Okay, so we approach 0. Here P is outright 0. Q is outright 0, right? Q is right here, denominator, right? The number should be infinity. Okay. Here, P is 0, right? P is 0, this denominator is 0, right? Then what is this? No, this denominator is infinity. And then this is 0. I'm very true, I'm very serious. So very useful to remember this one. Here is infinity, unless infinity is 0. Okay. Midpoint is exactly 1. This midpoint E. You can prove that home. Do that home. You don't have time. I don't need to do that anyway. The midpoint is the point where elasticity is 1. Okay. Then we have the conclusion. Your price policy is what? This is your price. Price should be here. That is, okay. This will be maximized right here. You can prove that. Okay. If you have learned, if you learned geometry, right? Did you not? You learned, right? Maybe KH learned and YG didn't. I don't know. Here, this is midpoint is the point where revenue gets maximized. Okay. Why that is? Here, epsilon is infinity, which is bigger than or smaller than 1. Price elasticity is bigger than 1, right? Price elasticity is bigger than 1. What should your price policy be? Price hike or price reduction? Reduction. You have to move this direction, right? Here, price elasticity is 0. What should your price policy be? Increase price. Increase price, we have to move this, right? This increase price, right? You cannot get out of this line. This is your frontier, so to speak. Frontier, because given to you, right? Then, is that clear? You are here, you have to move, reduce the price. Now, you are here, down below, you have to increase price. So, your equilibrium is here. This is exactly where if epsilon is 1. You can prove that home. Okay, very interesting case. Okay. Julian, do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Not perfectly. Okay, any question regarding this price elasticity of demand? Ungun, are you with me? Are you sure? Okay, Sangchul, did you understand what I said? No, right? Somewhere in between. Jongwon, you understood? Okay. Question, what question?
I'm just not sure I totally understand what the delta.
Here, delta.
Yeah, it's like delta is like the
Delta is small change. Delta is small change. The change. Delta is in general change. In this case, because as I said the other day, this is cost. In this case, delta. What is this? Q delta C. This is constant. So this doesn't matter how big the delta is. Small. Same story. But on a curve, it moves. Point is keeps changing point by point because of this. If you take this big, this wrong number, so getting closer and closer. The closer, the more correct. So delta Q, take very small delta Q. Okay. So once again, the is limited. Okay, time is limited. So let's talk about supply curve. Supply curve. This is definition of price elasticity of supply. Okay, supply. Same story. The only exactly same story here. Only difference is that supply curve most typically looks like this. Same direction. Price goes up, your supply will go up. What this means is sometimes the government controls the market price. Okay? Government controls market price. In this case, as government increases price, supply goes up or goes down? Goes up. Goes up. Okay? Like this one. This is the case. The case is that in general, in Korea or in America, government very often buy up all the crops, rice or corn or things like that, to support the price of the rice, corn, or wheat or something like that. So government is to now offers, this is the price we are going to buy. The price goes up, supply goes up. So in this case, we need this type of the elasticity. Okay. And then figure 8 is the repetition of, not exactly repetition, very similar to figure 5. What page is it in? Here, pretty much same story. Price goes up, no change in no change in supply. The fixed. This is the case of like the works of Picasso, Pablo Picasso. So price goes up, no change in quantity, right? Like that, fixed amount. So this is what price goes up, quantity 0, right? It's infinity, something like a 0 infinity. Then it's the different story. This is constant. That's very easy. Okay. Constant is constant. I think this is constant. Straight line from is constant here, middle. This is constant. Okay. Price goes up 10%, price increase, 10% increase in quantity. Okay, that's proportional, right? This one. This is because the difference comes from different sign. Fine. Previously, demand case was negative sign. This is positive sign because of this. Okay, one more time. Unit price plus price elasticity of demand is the case of hyperbola, while unit one unit price elasticity of supply is just a straight line from the origin. Key point is it should be from the origin, 0. Otherwise, it cannot be proportional. Otherwise, it looks something like that. Keeps changing on the curve. Okay, so I don't need to repeat. Okay, I better not make you boring. Okay, bold. The final point is that, likewise, you can define any elasticity between two. Typical example is that, okay, how often does your mom nag at you? How very frequently? Very rarely? Never? Rarely. Okay. So certainly the frequency of your mom's nagging frequency depends on your GPA. Grade point average, right? I'm very serious. Depends on 현지, right? As you are, okay. This is so elasticity of your mom's frequency of your mom's nagging and GPA moves in same direction or reverse direction. Reverse direction, right? Okay, that's epsilon. Okay, your mom's. Okay. Your mom's GPA elasticity of nagging. So I'm very serious. That in my case, that was different. Okay, when I got very close to A plus, okay, simply my mom stayed silent. So I'm serious. Okay, that happens anywhere in the world. We need a minus sign. Okay, this is the GPA, delta GPA. Okay, nagging frequency. I mean, I'm serious. I'm not just joking. Likewise, you can define any elasticity of any two variables. Okay. So many things. Okay, many things. You can define elasticity in this way. So, any question regarding anything today? TJ, no question? Erin, no question? 원정? Question? 현우? No question? No question or no interest? 현우, you tell me. No question or no interest? No interest? Okay, thank you for saying that. Then this is it for today. So have a great weekend, all of you.